to talk about education because the UK government has just announced that it's going to change the way that GCSEs are run. Now, change can be positive, it can be negative, and when it comes to education there's always a need for progression because the world moves on, times change, and people need to know and have new skills. This isn't what these changes are really reflecting. In fact, if anything, they're going backwards. More to the times of the 80s. They're changing the grading system, which kind of seems pointless, from A, B, C to 1, 2, 3. Really, what difference does that make? None at all. It's absolutely ridiculous to even think that it would. It's just daft. They're also focusing on, more history and things like that, which is a good thing. That's not necessarily bad, and that people should all be made to read at least one Shakespeare play. Now, Shakespeare it's very important, and people should be taught about it. But at the same time, you need to accept that a lot of it is dead language. I mean, it's all right reading a Shakespeare play, but then you need to go further than that and look at maybe how it does or doesn't apply today, or what it's given us, and how we can take that and translate it into a modern version of it, as there have been so many films and things about Shakespeare plays. But the biggest thing that I find concerning is they want to move back to a lot more standardised examinations. Now, I'm not saying exams are necessarily a bad thing, because they're not, but what they want to do is get rid of a lot of the vocational qualifications or vocational endings, which concentrate a lot on coursework. Now, if you're someone like me who has a learning disability, then exams are awful, horrible, frightening, terrifying things. And being allowed to do a course or choose a course where you may necessarily only sit maybe one exam rather than a whole string of them, and you have a lot of coursework based within that, then it can be really, really helpful, because you're not always going to get the best results giving somebody like myself or someone who has a similar or any kind of learning disability an exam. Doesn't mean that they're not as smart as maybe all the other people in the room. It just means that the way their brain works, exams just don't work for them. And this is something I have suffered from. And the fact of the matter is, vocational qualifications can be just as hard as doing an exam, as long as they're set out right. So this myth that, well, if you're not doing an exam, then you must be stupid, is rubbish. And I think it's a very scary time for education, because you're going to end up with a similar situation that you had in the 80s, where if you can afford extra tuition, or if you can afford to send someone to a private school where they're going to get the best education, small class sizes, and all of the other things that go with the benefits of paying for your education, then great. If you can't, and what we're going to have is a two-tier elite education system once again, and I think that's wrong. And I think this is change just so they can be seen to be going, look, we're changing, we're making things more difficult. People, are going to be coming out of school and they're going to be, so much better. Well, some of them are, yes, but there's going to be a large percentage that aren't. There's going to be a large percentage that are left behind, or are left made feel stupid, or that they're not good enough, or they're inadequate. And that's not the case. A lot of these people are incredibly clever, but they just struggle with standardised examinations. So we are basically telling a lot of clever people they're really not good enough. And this is why I'm against this kind of change. education is the key to everything, really. And what people need to get from their education is knowledge, power, and be ready for the world. They need to be taught not just about our past, or not just about the basic subjects, which do need more money in them and more thought behind them, but they also need life experience. They need to know about things that they're going to have to find out about when they go out to work and live, how to apply for jobs, how to budget. And these are things that an exam can't teach you. So what about these things? Where's the government on that? I think this is an education reform that's ill-advised, ill-thought out, and is frankly just reform so we can say we're doing reform. And frankly, that's just a load of crap. So that's my thoughts on it. Maybe you feel differently. But if you do, or you agree, then stick a comment down below, and we'll see what people say. Bye for now.